Hi, don't know if anybody's here. I'm going to just pop in the chat now the cards that we'll be using and the tea that I have today. Hi, welcome to Tarot and Tea Tuesday. I may sneeze randomly. I am reacting to something in a different environment. So yeah, apologies for any sneezing and snuffling they go on. The tea we're having today, I went for a walk and found a couple of herbs that I recognized just growing. So I thought I'd pick some of those and bring them in. And they're both, and well, I don't have any of my favorite tea cups, so we're having champagne tea. Fennel and apple mint. They're both really good for digestion, but also both of them have like anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidant properties. I think apple mint's good for headaches and I want to say circulation, but I could be wrong about that. And fennel leaf really good for like allergies, the allergy symptoms that I'm getting. So anyway, it's quite fortuitous that these happen to be growing nearby and that I came across them this morning. So here we go. What a combo. I know I've had fennel before on these Tarot and Tea Tuesdays, but this is the leaf and the aromatics of it are quite different. Like it's a different vibrancy to it. So, and with mint, like the apple mint in itself it gives you that kind of like, oh, this isn't your average kind of mint. This is something different. But then with the fennel added, they actually go really well together. They're sort of like contrasting yet complementary. So definitely a combo I'd have again. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so the cards we're using today, I'll talk a little bit about the time. So it is a waning moon. We had a full moon last week. The sun at the moment is in Scorpio still, but I think moving towards Sagittarius soon, one of my favorite solar times. And the moon currently, so the sun is in Scorpio and the moon currently is in Cancer. And I don't know if anyone caught my my morning musings, the regular daily video that I share. This morning I was talking about getting sort of like distracted easily to the point where I'm physically not very present. And the Scorpio sun and Cancer moon offers another layer of explanation for why that might be. We're working with the so these cards came from my beautiful brother Victor. I remember back in the 90s, early 90s, when I was pregnant with my first baby, even before then maybe, but we used to play with these cards a lot. And during the beginning of when my oldest son was born, he would give me readings with these cards all the time. So they've got a warm place in my heart. I don't play with them very often. They kind of, when I do, they remind me too much of a certain time, and also I compare myself to my brother in reading them, and he read them so well, and those conversations. So I don't know, Victor, if you're listening to this, next time I see you, I'm bringing these cards. So they are called the Karma Tarot, and they were made in the 80s. That's the back of them there. And I found out, which I didn't know before, the artist, whose name is Birgit Boline Erfurt, she lived in a commune in Copenhagen, and the characters on this card are based on, and the energy of these cards is based on her time in this commune and the various artists and musicians that she shared that space with. So that's another layer dimension to these cards that I did not realize before. So let's go. Let's do a little shuffle. I have had a couple of questions. I really like this too. I can actually feel it kind of cutting into the back of my throat where there's a bit of phlegm, post-nasal drip going on. So yay for you. Okay, so one of the questions was about balancing our energy from Sylvie on the Patreon page. Balancing energy at this time. You brought us some really cool points in that comment, actually, because we are vacillating between like quite intense heat in Melbourne and then like extreme drops in temperature, which is very frustrating and does require extra energy to what we would normally use just to maintain a regular cohesion to the atmosphere and the environment around us. And also, you mentioned that thing that happens in, I'm assuming, most westernized, fundamentally Christian-raised systems of capitalism where it's Christmas coming and everybody's in this frantic, like, we've got this end of, there's this reward coming up where we all get to like take time off and, do things that we wouldn't normally do. But the build up to that is, in order to get there, it's almost like we feel like we have to earn the right to have some time off in the middle of summer to share with our families. So everybody's kind of frantically trying to build up the, getting their things done, meeting their deadlines or whatever. And then there's the capitalist frenzy of like, I've got to get to the shops and I've got to, I don't know, it seems to be that I noticed that it could just be because I live right near quite a large shopping, so that could be part of it. And Sylvie works in the city, so you'd probably be dealing with a lot of that. And also there's been a bit of that stuff around people putting aside their sense of compassion and empathy to prioritize seeing Christmas displays in windows in cities. So yeah, it's all a bit mad. So yeah, we will be thinking about that while we do this reading. Oh, Nine of Swords. Okay, so what happens when I pull a card is I get a flood of information because I've been working with tarot for so long. As soon as I see a number and an element that is represented and the colors and a quick flash of the card, I'll get a flood of information. So, and I feel like just babbling. But I do want to kind of explain a couple of the things here. People who read tarot will know the Nine of Swords is often, I think, the Rider-Waite. I don't want to call it that. I've got to remember that the female artist that did that deck for next time. Remind me. But anyway, in the classic tarot deck, it is someone sitting in a bed, I think, leaning against the headboard with a whole bunch of swords above, and they look distraught. So I feel like with this card, it's talking about, like, you can even see that. Can I get it close enough and coordinated enough? There's this, like, this is, it can be a playful or mindful moment kind of pose, but when it's coupled with, like, I don't know, that expression, there's an expression there that's kind of like, and looking to the side, it's kind of more like trying to really nut something out. That's what this card reminds me of. Like, there's what is that in front? Oh, a typewriter. There you go. A writer maybe experiencing some kind of block. But the thoughts going into a writing project, sitting there and like concentrating your energy towards communicating this outside of you, that so the swords represent that kind of cognitive sphere, that mental sphere associated with air and the the quick kind of movement, almost invisible transitions that air can put us through. But this cognitive idea of like comes up for me when I'm looking at this person who's represented as a writer in this deck, someone trying to express creatively what's going on here outside of themselves and having that moment of like, you know, because there's 9 swords in the back there as well. It's that kind of, they're cutting at different angles. And being a Gemini, I can relate to this concept in an abstract way, but let me try to explain it. It's almost like all these thoughts are kind of coming in. If you imagine like a magician in the, you know, that box where they put all the swords in, and there's that kind of like, okay, but then this thought will come up and you're like, okay, I want to push that thought into the thing, and you're like, oh, is it gonna break everything? Is it gonna do damage? Is it gonna be bad? And, you know, you wait with bated breath while you stick that thought in, and you go, phew, okay, that one got in. But now, how is that going to match up when I put in this next sword? And all of these thoughts kind of coming in at different angles, and you being the one that's trying to hold it all. But in this expression, it's like not only holding it all, but then like actually expressing that back out again, releasing that out. So when we think about the question we've got, balancing our energy, I kind of feel like this card is saying that we need to get our cognitive process out of it. Like, don't think all of this stuff is going on, and to balance it, what have I done before? Let me analyze this and work out the best way to, and read that and maybe express myself with words. And that's not going to cut it. This card is telling me, and also my experience of feeling a little bit ungrounded in this waning watery moon phase. Maybe it's more about sort of taking the emotion as opposed to the thought process. So feeling out of balance and going, what does that feel like? If I'm being, say it's gone from like a really hot day and you go to bed and you can't sleep because it's been hot all night, you've woken up a lot, you're not used to it. There's a frustration in that. And there's a frustration because of lots of different logical cognitive reasons. I've got to get up early. I need my rest. I can't get comfortable. All of this stuff infiltrating. But maybe if you went with the feeling, what does it feel like? It feels bad to be laying down. Maybe it feels like you want to take, like you can't cool down, you can't get comfortable. So, but then there's this cognitive process that's saying, but you need to stay in bed because you need to get some sleep. It might even be better to just get up and go outside, or find a comfortable, like go against what's cognitively right, because I feel like it's kind of almost stifling the expression of what needs to be processed in order to regain balance, and instead do something different, like have a shower at 2 a.m, or I don't know, go and stand under the stars for a few minutes and just let your skin breathe in the open air for a while, or do something that will balance you in the immediate moment to feel different, and then try again and see if that was enough. It makes me think of the thing where, like, if something makes you feel, my shamanic teacher, Rebecca, taught me a lot about this. If something makes you feel uncomfortable or awkward, go towards it, step into it and experience it. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what this card is sort of telling us, especially with regards to what you're saying there, Sylvie, about finding balancing our energy. And it could come in any form. Like maybe it's about going, I know there's some things you rationally can't do that are sort of spur of the moment and might make you feel good in the moment, but may have repercussions. But whatever you can do to bring balance in any moment. So obviously, like if you're having a stressful time at work because, and you feel like it's creating an imbalance in your energy, instead of going, well, fuck it, I'm leaving, because that could cause some problems down the line that you don't want to deal with. But instead it might be, okay, why don't I like being here? What is that feeling? Let me feel into that. Oh, I don't like being here because I wore the wrong shoes, or I didn't eat my breakfast, or that person over there is frustrating me. And then like you've opened up a layer where you could delve deeper, like, why does that person frustrate me? Or why did I not eat this morning? And sort of like keep nutting it down and digging it deeper until you go right to the edge of what's creating the imbalance and figure out from that perspective. It's almost like you can look further forward and go, oh, okay, so that might be how I can create balance. You've got a bit of distance from the sticky end of it. And then you can actually come up with some kind of practical activating thing that you can do in response to the imbalance, the feeling of imbalance. If you think about the body and homeostasis, that also, it makes me think of that too, where it's like, as a holistic therapist, when I see a body doing something, so experiencing imbalance, like, I don't know, like hot flushes, me getting hot flushes, right? If I feel my body experiencing that, I know that is a natural response to estrogen waning in my body quite rapidly towards the end of my time as a menstruating woman. So there's a logical reason for it. But if I sink into, as a holistic therapist, I would then view that, if I was detaching myself, if I could detach myself from it, I would view that as quite a logical, natural response to something that's going on in the body. Then you would kind of go, well, what can I do to support the progress through something, as opposed to how can I suppress that hot flush? It's more like, how can I support the body to clear the estrogen and restore homeostasis in the body? So if you think about, and I'm using this language because I know you, Sylvie, and I'm thinking about that in terms of energetic balance. If you can hold that same process of reestablishing energetic balance by going, this is a natural response to, for example, fluctuating temperatures. So how can I support the body to regain balance in that moment, or the mind, or the heart, or whatever it is? Give that a go. Don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, Nine of Swords, Karma Tarot. Have a great week. I'll be back in my usual spot next week. But for now, have a good one.